Hello everybody, welcome back to Stour Val. Happy New Year 2021. I hope you all had as best as possible festive period in the difficult circumstances we all found ourselves. I haven't updated for a while as I've been really sort of busy with work and other areas where I've not just sort of committed the time to sit down and get stuck in with things, or when I've wanted to do it, you know, time's been really pushed to the essence, so I didn't want to rush anything. I'm going to do a slightly different video today. We're not going to be upstairs, it's going to be downstairs, and I'm going to be looking about how the old Hornby coaches again, getting ready for the conversion, going from the D-lock tension couplings and just being a blank empty coach to being converted with the new Nem Pockets, ready for obviously a coupling of your choice, and also adding the scenic detail. As you'll see through there, I've actually put the people in. So I've done it on most of them, but I thought I would do a video about it. I know when I did the removing the Rivet couplings with the Hornby one, it was really quite popular, so I thought might as well show people what I've been doing with this. So I hope this is beneficial, I hope it's worthwhile for people, and obviously I'll walk you through the process. Thanks very much. So you join me back, and the first thing we're going to do is obviously remove the old tension lock couplings with the rivet in. So put your coach in the trusty old Pico coach cradle, loco cradle, and just as it was before, using the drill. And then you just very slowly and gently, don't rush it, but drill in. I hope you can see with everything. I've tried to angle the camera, so it takes just a little bit of getting used to, but what you'll see if I just do that before is that's already taken quite a bit of the metal off on there and made that quite flush now, whereas if you look at the one at the other end I've not touched yet, it's still quite flush. So it is just a case of taking your time. Sometimes you might want to go up a drill bit size, but this one should be fine, so just carry on. Might want to hold the bogey as it flops around, makes it a bit easier. And there we go, straight off. That's the first part. So that's the old D-lock gone. There is still obviously the rivet bit in there, so the last remaining bit will be just to get that rivet out. And there we are, so a little bit of the plastic has come through. That's not going to matter because putting these locks in, these new couplings, you're going to need to chop this bit away anyway. And as what you'll see there, bring it in, try and bring it in focus for you somewhere. That's the other end of the rivet popped out. So that's what you do in the first stage, just to repeat them. So welcome back. I've now obviously removed the ends, so just popping that back there. So now this is obviously the Nem pocket that we've got to fit, and what you'll see from the one I've done previous is that it will sorry, just trying to focus this for you so you can see. Bear with me. There you go. So what you will see is it will bridge across the old one, but where the old Rivet couplings used to be, where this bridge bit is here, you have to sort of chop away some of this so that the actual box bit of the Nem pocket slots in. Otherwise, what the problem you then find is you're not got your couplings at the right height. So what I've tended to do, again, just trying to pop that in here for you guys. So as I was saying, what you have to do is just work out the distance that this box pocket has got to sink into the existing coupling. So that means that you have to sort of hack away at the the bogie that's currently on the carriage. So best thing to do, obviously, with these as well, as I got told by Matt Wickham, who was the person who designed these and I bought these off of on eBay, is the bigger bit of the box here should be facing into the wheels in the bogie, otherwise it pushes your coupling further out and will create bigger gaps on your stock. So when I look at that, some of the bits I just do is obviously try and do it so you can see it, but offer it up, trying to align the holes because it does help if you can, and then from there with the blade, just initially start by scoring the plastic, and then from there that gives you what you need to cut away. There is multiple different ways that you can do this. You can persist and thingy with a Stanley knife. I've also found that you could get bigger drill bits and drill it, so it's whatever your choice is, but I'll start with the Stanley knife, but it's obviously being ever so careful trying to do it. And I'll stop the recording here because you're just not going to see, my hand's going to be in the way, but all I'm going to be doing now I've marked this out is getting rid of this bit. So I'll see you shortly. Hello everybody, I thought I'd just pop this back on, so I'll show you there. Whether you can quite see it, probably not actually, but I've measured up the pocket on there and I've marked out, and I've just got the scalpel blade and just gone along there just to make an impression to begin with. So that tells me the area I need to get moved away. Then the way I've been doing it is just by a variety of snips with the zircons. Always begin with the hole where the rivet was initially because it's the weaker point, and it is just about being really careful, taking your time and then you can remove it. See, there's a bit more come off there than I'd anticipated. Then do that, do that, and then that is pretty much what you're left with. Get a file, just go along and tidy up. See, I've got a lump of plastic there. So very carefully, just with the blade, there we go. See, it comes off relatively simple, relatively easy. File it down. You haven't got to be too precise, because the main point is it's just so that the Nem pocket can actually fit, and then offer it up, and if you've done it right, it will sit on there nice. So I just thought I'd quickly show you that, and that's what you do. See you shortly. Right then everybody, welcome back. I am now going to do the interior scene bits. So the way to get these Hornby coaches apart is there is a screw here and there is one here. So it's a case of unscrewing. They're quite long screws because they go right the way through the carriage and they grip into the ceiling, so depending on what some of them are like, some of the ones I've done have come out really easy, others have really had to take a bit of persuasion. So like this one on the end is looking like it's going to come out a lot easier. There we go. So a nice long sort of let's see if I can do it that way for you. Oh. This is what goes all the way through the bottom of the carriage right up to the top. This one still going to prove a bit of a I've had this with some of them just unscrew like the other one. Others can be quite difficult. So, right, with a bit of difficult persuasion off camera and very nearly some industrial language, it's broken free. So the next thing that you do to get these off is you use a screwdriver that you've done to get the screws out, and just up here in this sort of coach bellow in the door, you just push in because that clips, and then what happens is when you do that is the roof comes off, the sides fall away, and then you're left with the interior. So with that ahead, what you then need to start doing next is, I would recommend some sort of variety of tweezer devices, so ones like this or like this. I suppose it's whatever your preference is really. And now we get to the people. So bit of the old trusted Yoo-hoo, which is the most universal glue that I've sort of come across really. Seems to do well with pretty much everything. The only thing it didn't do that well with was holding the couplings on the coach bottom, so I'm going to show you that in a little bit, or you would have already seen it when I've put the video together. So now it ultimately just relies on getting your glue, getting your individual, and then putting them in. Some of the things I find on the style, I think some of these are just cheap ones that have come from China for like a couple of quid. I know you can get the more expensive ones from people like Bachmann, etc. But I just use the cheapy ones from China. Unfortunately, a lot of them sometimes you have to just snip the legs off, so that's fine. And then as you get them, he says, oh come on, as you struggle to get them, so you just pick them up with your fat fingers instead. Little dab of glue, and then it's just sort of sorting out your arrangement that you want in the coach. So you're going to find it really hard to see this. So let me just, so there we go, that's the first one, and it is just a, so since you've last joined me, there's the inner bit of the coach with all me people in it, and now it's simply just putting it all back together again. So that bit sits in there. Thing to mention as well, just obviously when you are doing people sitting in there, is where those two bolts come through, you just want to make sure you leave that free so that when they come back in, right, so now you come back to putting the carriage back together. What I will just point out is on this bit and this bit, this is the one where you've got the windows blocked in for what would be the toilets. So obviously the other one is just a clear window with no blocks. So what you just want to do when you're putting this in, just want to make sure you get the right one in the right way, and then it is simply, he says it's a bit fiddly, but get this lit underneath. We'll just take a little bit of tinkering, but there you go. So then you've got the coach back to its normal construction. And then roof slots in at the top, and then what I'll find is just go around and do that, and then it's a case of putting your screws back in. Which is all pretty simple. So I mean, this is pretty good. It's allowed me to revitalise this old Hornby stock when you look at the price of modern stuff nowadays. I only had one of these coaches before I started buying these, and I bought a load of these last year at varying prices, and I'd say probably I've got about a rake of 8 or 9 of these now, and I reckon in total they've probably only cost me about £55–60 to accumulate, when you think that nowadays that's what you pay for one coach. So I hope you found some of this useful, because if you're a bit like me and don't really want to pay that sort of money, it's always good. The one thing I would have to do with a couple of these, I think this one's going to be alright, but I've got another couple that I'm just doing as the last batch. If you have got the old Hornby, what people used to refer to, the old pizza cutter wheels, probably will just need to replace those with something a little bit more modern. And then that is pretty much, like I say, I can sort of convert 3 of these coaches to the price of what it would be for probably one. The Nem Pockets you get from Matt Wickham off of eBay, he ultimately sells them in a variety of sizes. He does a tester pack of 4, and then it's a pack of 8, and they're quite reasonable, to be fair. Really reasonably priced. And then if you need to get replacement wheels, I mean, the Hornby sets currently go about £15, I think, for about 10 wheel sets. So that sort of does you 2 carriages and leaves you 1 spare. So like I say, I hope you found this useful. I hope it helps, and I look forward to showing you a video of these running around on Stouval soon. Many thanks. Take care. Bye. For the very last stage now, I'm just going to mix some of this Devil Con epoxy resin. So this is the bit that you need to actually connect the Nem Pockets to the coaches. As I said, I did try the Yoo-hoo, but actually it wasn't sufficient enough to hold it and keep it strong. So what I am doing, I've experimented with this, and this stuff is like rock solid cement. I think it advises that you can sort of do it within about 10 minutes of doing it, but what I've done is when I'd done my previous ones is I did it one evening and didn't touch it till the following day, and it is absolutely rock solid. So the thing you have to do with this is you have to mix it up, and what you have to do with this is you do really have to be sort of quite quick, because this stuff doesn't sit around for long before it starts going off. So hence why I'm getting everything in line. But you essentially put an equal amount of each on a scrap bit of paper or card for what you believe to be efficient. So I'm just going to do one big blob there. It's not the nicest smelling stuff either, so try and make sure you're somewhere where you can have well ventilated. So you got the clear stuff, which is the black one. The black one is the resin, the white one is the hardener. Now the best way to get these together is by simply using a cocktail stick to apply. So you got your bits there, and you literally simply just start mixing, and you need to mix it really well. And when you start getting quite a bit of resistance off of it, that's when you know that you've mixed it sufficiently. So you just keep going. There we go. So I think that's about ready. And then what I've done is literally on the coaches where you're going to put the bit, I'm just popping bits all around the bits that are left, because obviously we've made it so that the Nem pocket can fit just over the old lugs. So making sure, obviously, as I have said, that you get the big box end sticking out going towards the wheels, otherwise it will push your couplings further apart. Then you just do that, push down, and then let it set, and that is the process. So as I say, I hope you have found this really useful. I would have liked this when I was looking, but obviously I've had to do a bit of research and combination of both. So hopefully this might help people moving forward. Many thanks. Take care. Stay safe.